Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. We hope this finds you well.
Yeah.
Very well.
We want to give you
Healthy.
a special shout out. It's one of our longtime listeners. His name is Roman, and his mom, Michelle. They listen to the show since near the beginning. Roman loves pancakes,
Yes.
and he loves playing soccer. He loves Minecraft, and his favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's
All
a good
right,
one.
Now we're talking.
It's a good one. We wanted to let Roman know that our favorite superhero is, in fact, him.
That's right.
Come
we go.
on,
Hey,
Roman.
Roman.
Hey, Roman.
You are so strong, dude. We're incredibly proud of you, and thank you so much for listening to the show.
Yes.
And
we appreciate it.
we think very highly of you and your mom. So we hope you have a fantastic week, and we
thank
hope
you for
enjoy
listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Okay, headlines.
Headlines.
Oh,
I went up.
whispery. Yeah, it was so high I could barely hear it.
Sultry.
It was there, though.
All right,
Like a
so
dog whistle.
Florida woman.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
My type of lady.
Florida woman is accused of killing her husband,
Okay.
allegedly,
Okay. Well, see, we're still got some
Yeah.
room there.
and then feeding it to her tigers.
Let's
Okay, here we go. Keeping it topical.
Let's
relevant.
talk about
Everybody
Carol
has been home.
Baskin and the new Netflix show Tiger King.
If you don't have Netflix,
Come
you
on.
are.
that's weird.
That's weird.
If you're listening to this podcast and you don't have Netflix,
Yes.
that's weird.
Maybe they're listening to the podcast because they don't have Netflix.
That's true.
Oh, sad days.
Yeah,
That is
sad
sad.
for us. Listen, Carol Baskins, what's up, baby, if you're listening?
Yeah.
So let's talk
What's
about
up, all
it.
you big cats and kittens?
If you haven't seen Tiger King,
Right.
okay, and it's only
Stop
been
the podcast now.
and go watch it. Yeah, for
Way,
real.
way better than our show.
It'll give you so much enjoyment for like 7 hours.
It's
God,
really
there's
good.
7 to
so
8
many
hours.
golden
It's really good.
lines.
So the whole premise of the show Tiger King, it kind of focuses on this one guy from Oklahoma. Joe Exotic is his
Yes,
name, and he
amen.
runs a zoo out there that's
GW.
full of how many tigers does he have?
200.
Like yeah,
Yeah. Team Joe.
200,
Got
which
some
is
chimpanzees, some alligators.
which is insane. The fact that he has 200 tigers is insane.
I know, because you would think you would need 200 acres, right?
How much? Yeah,
200 tigers.
how much meat are you feeding those tigers every day? But anyway,
Like a semi truck of meat.
that's
least.
crazy. Yeah. Walmart meat.
Hello.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. So Carol Baskin is one of the people on the show,
Yeah.
Yes.
and we're talking about her specifically because she is from Florida.
Let's go.
So our Florida woman today,
Yeah.
Carol Baskin. Let's talk about her because she runs a. It's called Big Cat Rescue here
I
in
have heard of
Florida.
this,
It's in
yeah.
Tampa, Florida.
Right.
Now her whole thing is she's against. This was what was confusing to me when I was watching it.
Against breeding.
She's against keeping these tigers as pets.
Yep.
And she's also against breeding them.
Yes.
Okay. But she also runs her own zoo that looks oddly similar to Joe Exotic, which she petitions all the time with like the government to shut him down.
I think if you call it a rescue, even though
Oh,
it's
that's
a zoo,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was the loophole is people come look at the animals
Yeah.
behind cages, but she calls it a rescue. He calls it a zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
I
a
think
big
what
difference.
you want to
there.
do is you want to call it a rescue.
Right.
That's how you can enjoy
Yeah,
both
they
worlds.
missed the marketing on
A
that one.
rescue zoo.
Yeah.
So anyway, she has, I don't know how many cats she has. Big cats.
Yeah.
Supposedly you can't see
quite
them,
a few of
'cause
them.
On
Yeah.
the show, Joe goes on the tour, like Jurassic Park, where
Right.
they don't see any
That's
of the...
true. He's only seeing like a dozen or so.
Yeah.
But he thinks, or she said that she has over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Joe actually rents a helicopter,
Right.
to fly over her big cat rescue to try to see these hundreds
where are
or
the other
however
cats?
many cats, which is just insane. But he is so like committed to hating Carol Baskin
Yes.
for many, many reasons. And so let me get into that.
Oh, why they hate.
So first of all, I mean, he hates her because she was always trying to get him shut down.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Like she
does pet
petitions all the
parties.
time. Yeah. And that was a big part of why she wanted him shut down because they'll have kittens. Are they called kittens? Baby tigers?
Cubs.
Cubs. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Kitten
Good save.
cubs. Yeah.
Kitten cubs.
Kitten cubs. So they'll have the cub tigers,
Mhm.
and the visitors to Joe's Zoo can pet them and hold them for a fee.
Yeah.
I think it's a big fee.
Take selfies with them, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure. it's a
so
big
she is like really against the whole cub thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
So
there's only limited weeks that you can pet before
Yeah,
it goes
yeah,
wild
yeah.
and start
eating people.
piercing ears.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's one of the things that she's against, but she's always fighting to get Joe shut down.
Yep.
Okay. So he hates her for that.
Very much so.
But here is the bigger story that we're going to
Oh.
focus on, which is another reason Joe is always, talking about her and all this kind of stuff. And if you want to know what happens to Joe,
Uh-huh.
watch the show.
Please do.
Okay. Please watch it
Yeah, and I think if you don't want any spoilers, also, pause it now.
and watch it.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
You're
sure.
gonna love it.
Yeah.
All right. So Carol, like I said, owns this big cat rescue, Florida based.
Yep.
Well, she's been there for a while. She started this big cat rescue with her husband at the time.
Yes.
His name was Don Lewis.
Mhm.
Shout
Okay.
out, Don.
I say was
Yep.
because he is no longer with us.
Rest in
All
peace,
right.
Don.
Well, they never found the body.
Well, he's no longer with us.
He's no
Okay.
longer with us
That's true.
in the studio.
Yes. So, anyways, they started this big cat rescue together in like 1992.
Nice.
All right. They met in 91. He was like 22 years older than her.
Right.
She was 19 at the time they met.
It's hard to know what to talk about.
Yeah.
When you're 22 years different.
Yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
Cats, I
Cats.
guess, is a
So there was probably a big reason that she wanted to talk to him because he was a self-made millionaire. Okay.
I would talk to him.
I would
Yep.
talk to him.
Yeah. He sounds cute.
And you both like cats.
Right.
I love him.
So, anyways, they were married running this big cat rescue.
Yep.
Well, in 1997, they had some issues in their marriage.
Marital
Okay.
issues.
Yeah,
Right.
Don and Carol. Don actually went to a judge to court
Uh-oh.
to try to file an injunction against her and said that Carol had threatened to shoot him.
Right.
Okay.
That's a good sign it's over.
Yeah,
Now-
I think that's when you call it Dunzo.
Yeah.
Dunzo is the name here.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he did not get that order granted.
Did he move out?
He told Carol one day that he was going to take a trip to Costa Rica.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Which was pretty normal for him. He
Yeah.
went down there quite a bit. I think it had to do with his business.
and cat rescue.
Yeah. And so, anyways, that day that he said he was going to Costa Rica, he drove his van supposedly to
Okay.
the airport, but
Uh-huh.
nobody ever saw him again. Nobody, I mean, they couldn't find a trace of him.
Okay.
There was
Okay.
no logs of the plane leaving.
There was nothing that said
Nothing.
a plane left
Mhm.
to Costa Rica, nothing that they could find. And so a lot of people,
Yep.
Joe Exotic included,
Yeah.
think that Carol actually killed her husband
Hmm.
and then, because there's no body found,
There's no body.
allegedly fed him to her cats,
Her tigers.
tigers.
Yeah, we should clarify that. These aren't little tiny pusses.
No.
No, these are big
Um,
pussies.
Yeah, these are big cats.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think what's crazy about it is like, we just finished discussing how much meat you would need to feed all these big tigers.
Yeah. To point out, cats are carnivorous.
Well, I think just also too, the amount of meat those cats eat a day, it's not far fetched to believe they would eat a human being.
No,
No,
I
no,
think
no,
they
no.
would
I
eat
mean-
the equivalent of 3 humans a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, maybe she was just light on food that day, and Dawn had said something she didn't like, and
Well, and
sometimes you got to feed your cats.
And I think
It's priorities. It's
Yeah.
about priorities here.
and he had also gone out of his way prior to that disappearance to make sure that she got nothing. Like he was organizing his finances to try and like,
yes.
Yeah, he was trying to move
was
some
a
stuff
frugal
and
around.
she knew it.
Yeah, she did know it. But here's the thing, that never went through
Right.
because when he died, she had to wait. I forget how long it was. Oh, I think it was 5 years because the problem was, you can't collect life insurance on
Well,
somebody
there's an active
that
investigation.
there's an active. They didn't have a body.
Right.
Yeah.
So they wasn't well after that 5 years. The day after that was cleared,
Uh-huh.
she went down to the courthouse and had him legally pronounced dead.
Yeah.
Well, you don't wait 2 weeks if you've waited 5 years.
That's true. That's true.
There was
so
You go that day.
There was
basically, oh, go ahead.
an interesting part too about the van at the airport. A lot of people believe if he was really trying to run away, why would he leave his van at the airport where he left? That's a huge clue. Oh, he was here, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't drag your van behind your plane.
No,
So
well, you
most-
got to leave something behind.
Most people believe that she drove the van there.
Yep.
And
Could
then
she jog
like
back?
planted it.
though?
the cops brought it back to her house, and it was there for 2 days before they came to investigate the van itself.
Ah, yes.
That was weird. The fact that
Yep.
she had drove the van back to her Big Cat Rescue,
Right.
and then had 48 hours that they could have
Done whatever.
done whatever to
And-
that van.
And people were saying, well, the sheriff's department handled that wrong. It's important to point out that her brother worked for the sheriff's department.
That is
Whoa,
true.
shots fired.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, Carol, if you're listening, baby, we're on to you.
Yeah. So after that 5 years, she had him pronounced dead, and then was able to collect millions
Yeah.
in insurance.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so the thing is, Don had a wife before Carol,
yes.
and he
did.
also had
was
daughters.
Right.
And so these daughters were upset and were really following the investigation and kind of pushing
married.
to try to figure out, okay, what actually happened, because they
Sure.
feel like the police did not investigate well,
Sure.
which is what, kind of
Yeah. You
to
got to think
Wayne's
there's
point.
some type of maybe radar logs or something that, hey, a little beep beep
Right.
Yeah.
plane taking off
Sure.
might have happened.
and that's to Wayne's point of Carol has a brother in that police department. So
Yikers.
there's something fishy going on there, but they were also upset, the Don's daughters,
Yep.
because the police refused to DNA test the meat grinder at the Big Cat Rescue.
Ooh, yeah.
They
I know.
never did it. Their theory was, she might not have
Uh-huh.
cut them into little bitty pieces and fed them to the tigers, but there was a meat grinder there that was used every
to
day.
Carol's defense, she said, my meat grinder is it's the little chomper.
Yeah,
And
Right.
it wouldn't handle a whole human body.
yeah.
She's
but
tried.
those tigers have big chompers.
They have big chompers.
And then Joe Exotic has his own take on where he
Yeah.
thinks the body is. Do you remember what it was?
What? Just eating whole?
No.
He thinks that she put it in a septic tank,
Yeah, put it in the septic
Yeah.
tank or
Yeah.
under the septic
Yeah,
tank.
which is
and no
odd.
one would go investigate. I've always said this:
If you've got tigers, don't go septic.
if you're patient enough, you can fit anything in a meat grinder.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's how he lost a finger.
It's odd
Yeah.
that you kept saying that to us.
Yeah, it is weird.
Do you think that's Greg's plan for us? Like what if he has it staged for the three of us just to
Oof.
go missing one day? The podcast stops airing.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, Greg's worth, dozens of dollars.
Jeez, dozens.
He did have us sign a bunch of documents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's weird. And
Yeah.
he's buying the big chopper, which is
Oh, the
weird.
big one.
Yes, if you haven't seen the Netflix special,
Tiger King. Go watch it. Hey, fellas.
Hey, Josh.
So I've been corresponding with my prison pen pal.
yeah, you have.
Yeah. It's
He
a good
put me
program.
in touch with another prison pen pal,
Okay.
Okay.
and he said this guy's about to be famous.
Okay.
All right.
So
It's OJ.
I did a little research on him, and I wrote him a letter, and he wrote me back. Yes, this is really Joe Exotic.
Come on.
Wait, what?
My prison pen pal is the same prison with Joe Exotic.
No.
Thank you for writing me.
Uh-huh. Who? This is Joe Exotic.
This is Joe Exotic.
Okay.
Hey, fellas, this is like my 500th letter I've written today. I'm effing famous,
Come
Yeah.
which is
true.
what he always wanted to be.
This is a family-friendly show, Joe.
So he put the word.
I
I'm
know.
censoring it.
I'm just getting on to him.
Y'all are in Florida, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all ever go to that husband killer rescue?
Oh, jeez.
No.
Little does he know. We just talked about it. Y'all know Howie, her husband, is probably the safest man on the planet right now, huh? Anything happens to him, everybody's eyes are on Carol.
That's true.
That is true.
That's very true.
He's still going after Carol, which I love.
He's mad. I mean,
He's
bitter.
committed.
Yeah,
He's
he's
committed.
committed.
You know, he's probably guarded safer than Trump.
Who, Howie?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
for
true.
sure.
Oh,
If
he's-
anything happens to him, Carol's like,
He probably wears like an inner tube raft.
yeah.
well, you don't want him to
floaties,
slip and fall into a meat
floaties.
grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
accidentally.
No, they won't let me watch the documentary, but I did get to see the trailer, which is cool because the trailer had his song.
That's nice of him.
My cellie knows a guy that can get phones. Mother effer could keister a loaf of French bread.
What?
Come on,
Why
Joe.
would he say that?
I don't know why he said that. I saw a tiger, he put in quotations, referring to his song. It's not my best song.
Mm-hmm.
Please look up my one where I have a Carol impersonator feeding her husband.
Oh my
to a
gosh.
feeding.
Okay.
That's a music video.
So he's going all in on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says, that's my only critique of the trailer. All right, guys, talk to you later. And he put an 8, which is cool.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
And then he put hashtag Carol definitely did it.
Yeah.
Tiger King. Signed it Tiger King.
I think we're with him on this one.
I think so.
I think
It's all
we should post that and auction it off. A letter from Joe
got
Exotic.
Yeah. Authentic.
It is authentic. So that actually reminded me of a cat story.
Okay.
Cat story that happened in high school. This is the same high school that Wayne and I were going
We
to.
did private school.
Wayne wasn't in the class, but he did get to see the outcome. So I wrote some notes to help me remember because I didn't remember the scientific method. Anyways, I'll get to it. Okay. So it's science class. This teacher, she's pedigree. She's great.
Right.
Yeah, she's trying to teach this class. These kids are going wild.
Sure.
But they're only going wild for one reason, because there's a smell. So luckily, she's teaching on the scientific method, which this is the part I had to look
Right.
at because I didn't memorize it. But she's having a real hard time keeping everybody's attention. So she has this clue, play on what the problem is.
Right.
She says, okay, class, we're going to use the scientific method to figure out this smell.
Yeah.
So scientific method is observe, hypothesize, test, infer, repeat if needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to find this smell.
Right.
So first step, observe. She has the class, because not everybody's freaking out about it, only like half the class.
Right.
She has the class. If you can smell the smell, raise your hand. And like
Everybody?
3 fifths. No,
Okay,
like 3
okay.
fifths. Almost down the row. 3 fifths raise their hand. So she goes, okay, so that's observe. That's number one. Hypothesize. The smell is on the left side of the class. That's the
Okay,
hypothesis,
sure.
right? So she's teaching this, and this is all like, everybody's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's having
It's active learning. It's interactive.
yeah, everybody's having these
that.
breakthroughs.
I dig that.
So she goes, what's also on the left side of the class? The bathroom,
Okay.
right? So she
Could be
says,
the smell.
yeah. So she says, okay, well, we can test this. Let's get a kid that can smell the smell currently
Yeah.
Mhm.
and a kid from the other half that can't smell. They can go to the bathroom, both take a whiff,
Yeah.
Right.
see if they can detect an odor.
I like
it's
this.
a little weird though, right? I mean, you're basically telling students, go sniff the bathroom, come back, tell us what.
But this is late 90s, though.
This is, yeah.
Oh,
You don't have
no
this,
rules.
you don't have the same rules we have now.
No, not same restrictions.
Bill
where
Clinton
two
was
kids
president.
can't enter a bathroom together.
That's true.
Right.
And smell.
And
now,
sniff.
now kids don't even go to school.
Right.
Yeah, what's going on?
Jesus. Right. Yeah.
Jeez. So these two go in, come out, they report, no bad smell.
Okay.
Both
That's
of them.
fine.
Yeah, so that's where now it starts over, right? Observe, hypothesize, test.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, this is working. Let's try another one. She goes, okay, class, these few that can smell it, what does it smell like?
Okay.
So you get one girl goes, like my uncle's house.
Gross.
And then you hear like, it's cat pee.
Oh,
Someone's like, cat pee.
okay.
That's
And
the
then-
worst smell.
Oh God, yeah. And then another one's like, yeah, it's definitely cat pee. So she goes, hypothesize, is it cat pee? Test. The test is, okay, who owns cats? Does anyone here own a cat?
Okay.
So boom, like 4 or 5 hands shoot up.
Okay.
So
These are
she
cat owners.
yeah, these are cat owners. So she infers that, okay, maybe the smell is related to the cat owner, maybe a backpack.
Okay.
Got a little
Okay.
spritz.
Maybe a kitty
Yeah,
cat.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
So she takes the class, moves them all to the side.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a non-smelling person that didn't smell it and a person that did smell it. They go through and they smell everybody's backpack.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is really a strange day in science class.
But everybody's like in now.
The
No
kids
more
are learning.
distracting. Yeah,
Yeah.
kids are learning. Comes back, nobody's backpack
smelled it.
specifically.
Okay.
And can I I'm sorry, just to clarify for
No.
Cameron and everybody listening, we went to a small private Christian school.
Oh yeah.
This stuff was allowed.
This stuff
Yeah,
is
that's true.
This
This was probably a rare day that you actually were learning something.
Exactly.
but it was mild behavior
Yeah.
too. So now it's getting towards the end of class.
Right.
Teachers like thinking she was going to prove scientific method is legit, and now she has proved nothing.
Because no one can identify what the smell is.
Nobody can identify.
Yeah.
the smell.
Okay.
For sure.
So now she preached, 20 minutes of scientific method is gospel. It proves everything.
Sure. Sure.
Mhm.
It's how we know what things are real and what's not.
But you have no proof now.
And now everybody's lost faith in scientific
But you can still
method.
kind of smell stuff.
Bingo. And this is a Christian school, so everybody's like, you got to have faith.
Right.
It's kind of laced with that whole thing
And then
too.
the bell rings.
The bell rings.
Yeah.
So
Well, you got to have faith.
gotta have faith. Okay. So we go on. Day ends. Nothing is solved. Smell still kind of just randomly peaks up.
Sure.
People are freaking up about it. Luckily, it's a Friday. And this is where it gets fun because it's Halo. It's Halo tournament at old Ricky's house.
Okay.
And this is where Wayne comes in.
I was there.
So we go to Ricky's house.
Freaking Ricky.
And I was not part of the half of the class that could smell it originally.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But going to Ricky's house, Ricky had cats.
Yeah.
But they had litter boxes. They had their own litter boxes. He had like 4 cats.
It was a clean place.
It was a clean place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 5 of us there. So we're all inside his room playing Halo. And then we hear like bang, bang, bang. Ricky, get out here. Ricky probably in trouble, right?
I heard
Yeah.
that a lot.
So Ricky leaves and we see one of his cats just kind of just posted up outside his room.
Yeah.
Okay. The cat was knocking?
No. I guess it's dad or brother or something. So Ricky leaves, cat's just standing there posted. And we're not really distracted because it's just cat and we're playing Halo. And then we hear meow.
Right.
So we're like, what? And we all kind of look towards the cat and cat goes, meow. And then from around the corner, another cat trots in. Ricky maybe had a week. He had a week of these brand new shoes that he was just so proud of.
Uh-huh.
They had air written on the side, real big,
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah,
embarrassing because Ricky couldn't jump.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
No.
It was something
No
Super
air.
white kid.
super white, pale, almost see-through.
Right.
Yeah.
This cat comes in and just starts messing with the shoe like he's going to build a home in there.
Okay.
Uh,
Like scratching it?
like scratching it, but then just kind of like puts his hind end down,
Uh-huh.
sits there for a second, like it's a
No.
recliner,
Right.
gets up, takes off. So we're like, oh, was that weird behavior? I'm
Yeah.
not a cat owner.
I don't know
Uh-huh.
any better.
I don't know any better. So
don't
we
either.
don't think anything of it. Ricky comes back in. We play for another hour. Bang, bang, bang. Ricky, get out here. Take the garbage out. Ricky leaves. No lie. We look out the door. Cat still posted up. Cat does this. Looks at us. Looks straight ahead. Go, meow. It's like a second later, around a different corner. Trot, 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 trot. This cat
So these cats are coordinated.
This cat was not trying to hide it, bro. This cat lifted a leg like a dog and just streams it.
peed in the
He streams it like Netflix.
in the
Boom.
shoe.
Right into Ricky's shoe.
Oh my god.
2 separate cats.
2 separate cats just dropping straight up concentrated cat urine
Extra potent.
right in it.
Only on one shoe, though.
That's the weird thing. Only on one shoe.
But that also explains why only half the class could smell.
I guess, because
the
he always
pee-pee.
did spread.
He man-spread it a
He
lot.
did. He did.
Wow.
And so, like,
whichever side of the room he went to, that side is going to smell it.
I just
That's what
remember...
they did notice.
And I just remember like being in there thinking like, why on earth did he do to these kitty cats to make them organize this like pee-pee attack?
Okay,
you're
so
a
that's
boy-
the thing is like you saw this happen while you were playing Halo.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole scientific investigation happened before that. So this is not the first time
This is
happened.
definitely not the first.
Like the question is
This
how
is
long
a coordinated, like, wait for Ricky to leave. I'll meow.
Yeah.
You grow in there.
But they have to know like if they do too much, it leaves a puddle.
Yep.
He's going to find
And
out.
they only ever did one shoe.
It's just a little
I
trickle.
think the sad thing about it is we kind of had this reputation of thinking that Ricky had stinky feet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stinky Ricky.
Stinky Ricky.
Stinky Ricky. was kind of
But now looking back in retrospect, it was always 1 foot. There's no condition on the planet where you only one foot stinks, except for gangrene.
Yeah.
And he didn't have that, so now we know it was cat pee pee.
Yeah, because we used to lay on the floor and you'd put your feet up
Uh-huh.
and you'd have the leg wrestle, but nobody wanted to wrestle his
That
left
one
foot.
leg. You can if you wrestled Stinky Ricky,
That
1
left
foot
foot.
only.
Yeah,
It would
your
get you-
right
it would
foot,
get
his
you in
left.
whiffs.
Yeah. Like a bellow. Someone with
Right.
a bellow.
So Joe Exotic, the tiger lover, your new pen pal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope he likes that cat story. That's a good cat
That's
story.
a great
That's a
cat
good
story.
cat
And that's a
story.
real life cat story.
Right. Hit us
Ricky
close to home.
Had concentrated cat urine in his shoe forever.
Yeah. In the 1920s, Florida was experiencing what came to be known as the land boom.
The
land
the
boom.
land got bigger.
Boom,
Like,
yeah.
boom,
Tough.
boom. There's more
Well,
all
it
of a
was a
sudden.
volcano.
Like a boom.
A boom.
Yeah,
Remember
so
the volcano?
people from all over the country were traveling south to buy cheap property and build homes in the Sunshine State.
In the 1920s.
1920s.
Yep.
So a lot of these families, they set out with plans to farm, like especially in northern Florida. They wanted to come down here,
Okay.
buy some land,
Mhm.
and really start making a living for themselves. Right?
Amen. American
Yeah,
dream.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Right,
move
so-
to a peninsula.
Right. So we saw a major fluctuation of people and business around this time. But there were a lot of small towns
Uh-huh.
who were basically kind of immune to this because the situation of small towns, is like there's only so much land to farm,
hmm
and people have been farming there for generations.
Yeah.
Hence
So-
a town. Hence a town was created.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like a lot of these small towns were kind of like they further isolated themselves from the rest of Florida during this time.
Nice.
Because a lot of these snowbirds are coming down buying property and they're like, no, thank you. We're full
Yeah.
here.
No, thank you. Don't move here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
please
somewhere
don't.
else. Right.
Mhm.
This was especially true in a small town called Altha, Florida. Altha.
Beautiful
Florida.
place. I looked for a spot there. It's tough. Can't
Yeah.
find any property.
Can't farm anywhere there.
You can't. So in 1920, Altha had a population of 85 people.
Oh well,
Oh, that's way too many.
that's gonna.
Yeah.
Dating
Alpha.
scene's tough there too.
Yeah.
As of 2018, there's a little over 500. So it hasn't grown that much.
Still
Jeez.
tough.
Still a really small town.
Yeah, I opened Woo Plus.
Yeah.
A lot of people now on Woo Plus.
Josh has a girlfriend there now.
We'll see.
You're cheating on Annie. So Altha had an amazing farming community. These people grew everything from oranges to cotton. Hand to God, they were growing
Okay.
everything
Well,
in
that's-
Altha.
that
I
is a
don't
good
think those
mix.
two things really go together.
They're hard to swallow together.
Yeah.
They are. But that's what they were doing. They also had a lot of farm animals. So chickens, dairy, they raised a lot of horses. So farming like was their industry.
Okay.
Mhm.
These
Pretty
people were-
self-sufficient. It sounds.
Right. Yeah. They were set.
Textiles,
Mm-hmm.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Well, they had been doing it since before the foundation of the town in 1902.
Oh. Okay.
So this is 1923. Around this time, our story takes place. And they're solid. It's what they do. They're farmers.
I get it.
So that year of 1923 was actually kind of a rough year for the town because there was a man named John Barfield
Mhm.
who made a really gruesome discovery.
Oh,
Hmm.
what is it, Cam?
He found out cotton doesn't grow in Florida.
It doesn't.
No.
That's the thing.
He's like, wait a minute, what's
Those
been
other
on?
farmers
been-
have been faking it.
17 years, they've never got a crop.
They've been cutting pillows and putting them out here in the
Come buy this land. Grows cotton real great.
right. So one night, while securing his cattle pens and locking down his barn,
Uh-huh.
John noticed that he was missing one of his horses.
Oh.
Okay.
Run away.
So he owned 5 horses, but on this night he only counted 4. Some of the gates had been left open
Uh-huh.
during supper time, but his horses usually didn't roam too far, and they never went out of the gate.
Okay.
They're pretty docile, kind of like
Those are
local
good horses.
I
areas.
always
Right.
wondered when it switched from supper time to dinner time.
Right. So John Barfield, he finishes locking everything down, and he heads out to Flatwoods Road to search for his missing horse. So let me paint you a picture of Flatwoods Road.
Mhm.
It's a field.
This is important. Flatwoods Road is basically a giant path between 2 large wooded areas.
Mhm.
Okay.
So imagine like a 4-lane highway, but made entirely of grass.
I can imagine it.
Okay. So there's no concrete, just grass. And in Altha, Florida, no matter where you're going to go, you would make your way to Flatwoods Road and then you just go north or south. It was the center of
Okay.
everything,
Yeah.
right?
It's a
Yeah.
peninsula.
A huge
a
grass
peninsula.
highway, basically. So John heads through the forest until he arrives at Flatwoods Road, and immediately he sees his horse about 50 yards away.
Cool.
Jackpot.
Yeah. Easy.
Right. But it's laying down.
Oh, that's not. I don't think
Sleep.
horses
Horses sleep.
need to lay down.
They do to
So-
sleep.
As he's approaching the animal, it's sunset, so it's kind of harder to see, but he can already tell that it was horrifically mutilated.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay, mutilated is one thing, but
Yeah.
horrifically,
That's- yeah.
that paints a picture.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too many details, but
Please
there wasn't a lot left.
Oh.
jeez.
I mean, he knew it was a horse, but
So, yeah. Okay.
yeah, it was bad.
I mean, how do you know it just didn't explode from the inside out?
That's true.
During the land boom.
Oh my gosh.
That was the
We
boom.
found the volcano
Right.
under this horse.
So it's not uncommon for like a wolf or a Florida panther to attack an animal, but it's pretty freaking rare for them to attack a horse because there's easier prey.
Yeah.
They're going after smaller game. But what's even more rare is how much the horse was devoured. There was literally only like its head left, not a whole lot of much going on.
Don't go into too much detail.
Yeah. So John Barfield, he's super disturbed at this point. And so he goes around the next morning to
Nope.
kind of warn the other farmers who all basically chalk it up to being his fault. They're
Oh,
like, hey, you
'cause the
should
farmer's
have shut your gates.
Yeah.
Or he
Did
wouldn't
you
have got
park
out.
your horse over that active volcano again?
Right. Well, and then the other half of the farmers were going, well, it's probably just wolves. Calm down. You know what I mean? Like
You should have
Florida?
seen it.
If
It
you-
was horrifically
Yeah.
mutilated.
He's like, listen to me. There wasn't much left.
It was
But-
basically its head.
From their perspective, they're like, if you just lock your gates, lock your animals in, the wolves won't get in.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Thanks, friend. That's not why I'm coming to
Yeah,
tell you.
no harm, no foul,
Be a
right?
better farmer.
Well, that's what they're saying to him. So over the next 4 days,
Uh-huh.
6 farms along the Flatwoods Road experienced some sort of animal mutilation.
Well, if I'm John Barfield,
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally going and mutilating everybody else's animals because I'm going to prove it to him.
'Cause
Mine
he's
was really
pissed.
mutilated.
So there were dozens of chickens and other small game that had just up and vanished. There were goats that were tethered to fences that were found with only their heads still tethered to the ropes.
Oh,
Their bodies,
T-Rex.
the bodies had shown signs of being dragged off into the woods.
T-Rex.
jeez.
Textbook.
I think
Yeah.
so.
So the only difference between these attacks and the attack on John Barfield's horse was that on one of these occasions, someone actually saw the creature.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
40-foot tall penguin.
Penguin.
Penguin. David Watson Sr. was walking down Flatwoods Road after dark when he noticed what appeared to be a large black creature
Yep.
dragging animal remains into the woods.
Oof.
Okay, so he is, because it's a small community, he's well aware farmers are having their animals taken and
85 people.
mutilated and stuff.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when he's walking down Flatwoods, he sees this happening. He's like, holy crap, that's it.
Yeah.
So naturally, he goes, I'm going to go the opposite direction.
Yeah, I would move out of
For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not
Yeah.
going near that. He doesn't pursue it at all. But at least now, when he's telling everybody, they kind of know what they're dealing with. There's an actual creature coming, taking the animals,
Yes.
right?
They
Yes.
don't know what it is, but they know it's something.
It's something, right? So shortly after that, 11 volunteers,
Mm-mm.
all farmers, and 3 Calhoun County Sheriff's Departments, they sign up to patrol Flatwoods Road for an entire week to find the beast that was terrorizing the small community of Altha.
Mhm.
Okay, so they had planned to do this for a week. They were going to do it in shifts, go up and down, patrol everything, everybody's farm, stand
You know
guard.
how things fall off, and you're like, I don't want to do that anymore.
On
No.
the first night,
Oh, jeez.
4 hours into it, the beast shows up.
No.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so during the first night patrol, while standing approximately 10 feet off
Nope.
the path of Flatwoods Road, one of the volunteer farmers saw, and this is a quote, a massive shadow bending small trees and bushes and headed my way.
What?
Okay.
I pointed my shotgun and I fired twice from the hip. The
Nice.
shots echoed through the area and brought the rest of the volunteers over to the location. But by the time we got our lanterns on, all we saw was blood and black fur, no body.
Oh, my goodness. I love that he says shot from the hip, too.
Yeah.
He's just letting everybody know,
I can shoot from the
don't
hip.
F with me.
Yeah.
Don't have
I got this.
bird shot, bird shot.
So
buckshot.
the farmer stated that both shots hit the animal, and he swore on his life that it was the biggest cat he'd ever seen.
Okay. Cat is what I was not expecting.
What kind of
hear.
big cat would bend trees,
Did you
though?
pick this story because it was cat related?
Maybe.
This guy's pretty clever.
Leave us
So
on.
2 other volunteers who were in that area that night hunting, they claimed that the beast ran by them, and they both described it as a black tiger about the size of a small horse.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay, God
Black
bless.
tiger. I'm not aware.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Right. So black tigers are rare. Most people believe they were referring to black panthers.
Yes.
However, black panthers aren't native to Florida.
No.
They're found in Asia and Africa.
Knew that.
Right. So the panthers that are in Florida are tan in color, usually around 75 pounds. They're smaller cats. I mean, they're muscular. I mean,
Yeah.
and they can
Yeah.
get kind of longer, but that's not what these guys are saying that they're seeing.
I mean, small horse, size of small.
Yeah.
They're
geez.
saying black tiger, right?
big
That-
enough to kill a horse.
that it's mass exactly and devour a horse.
Mutilate a
right?
horse.
Oof.
So regardless of whatever the beast was, after that night the killing stopped. So he's shooting from the hip. He did something to
Okay.
it,
Yeah.
right? Not
And
as
the horse head is known as the least tasty part.
It
so
is.
It
Everybody
makes
knows
sense.
it is true. So not a single farmer had an animal go missing after that hunt. But it didn't stop the community of Altha from trying to figure out exactly what the animal was because there was never a body found. So naturally, everyone, they want answers. They want to know what's going on.
Missing body.
So the answers come about 2 weeks later when
Oh,
a member
gosh.
of the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department was visiting family out of state and they were looking for something to do. They decided to go attend a Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus event
Wait, what?
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
Hello.
So Altha is in the Panhandle. Baton Rouge is just kind of right above it.
Yeah. Baton Rouge.
On the map, right? So he was speaking to one of the lead performers after the circus is done.
Nice.
He mentions that he's a sheriff. He's out of town visiting family with his kids and such. And he says he's from Calhoun County. When he says that, the performer kind of, peeks up and says, our city before Baton Rouge was Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there for a week. When we left Tallahassee to go to Louisiana, one of our trucks and trailers lost control and went off the road in Calhoun County.
No.
Oh my gosh.
So it turns out that
geez.
truck and trailer went off the road about 11 miles from
Calhoun County.
from Alta.
Okay.
Right. So the sheriff brings up the incident about the farm animals being killed
Oh my
and,
goodness.
the big hunt and all this different stuff. And the performer goes on to say that not only, was that not their animals, none escaped that night.
God. I
She-
said too much.
Yeah, she claims they've never lost any animals.
Okay.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
she's backpedaling.
Here's the thing. With that being said, there are multiple documented cases of not just animals escaping the Ringling Brothers Circus,
Okay.
but specifically and almost always big cats escaping the Ringling Brothers Circus.
I think after Big Cat number 2,
Yeah.
you have to reevaluate your system of how you're handling big cats.
Sure.
Maybe you shouldn't travel around with them.
That's a good
that
one.
is true.
Put
That's-
them in a truck.
Yeah.
In fact, in the circus's early years, it happened so
Oh,
often
gosh.
that the big cat handlers would often joke that every time they moved to a different city, their show got smaller and smaller.
Oh, my.
bless.
So did the city that they were just in, because you got a tiger eating
This is
people.
true.
Sure,
so
exactly.
if you see a Ringling show, you want to be at City 1.
You want to be on, or at least in the balcony.
Or the last one where there's no tigers left.
Yeah, just in case. It's just a guy walking around with a whip.
Yeah.
The rare invisible tiger got here from Africa.
Exactly. So no one knows exactly what was killing those animals that night back in Athens in 1920. But if you ask anyone who lives in the area, they will tell you, a matter of fact, it was definitely a giant black tiger.
Wow.
So
they
yeah, that's
spray painted a tiger. Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and we figured that Joe Exotic would enjoy that story.
He's gonna.
Oh,
love
he
it.
definitely will.
There's
I'll
a
send him
He's
a
going to want a
cassette.
black tiger now, though.
Oh, that's true.
What's odd about researching for this show is that the amount of stories of large cats that just happen to get loose in Florida. That's
Yeah.
the weirdest
You
thing.
came across a bunch?
I came
ton.
across one
Oh,
when I was
geez.
looking at headlines for Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
So there was the Tarzan, one of the Tarzan actors.
Oh, Billy Zane?
No, not that one. I forget his name, but anyways, he had tigers here in Florida. He lived in Florida,
Oh,
and a
gosh.
600-pound tiger
Oh, my
got
gosh.
loose in 2004.
Yep.
And roamed around this county for like 26 hours. They had like
Ah,
aerial
that's
footage
crazy.
from helicopters, like
Yeah.
going, on the news and everything. And they were hunting down this tiger for like 26 hours.
And 600 pounds is right above the limit of where I could choke one out.
Yeah.
'Cause usually it's like 400.
You sneak up behind them,
Yeah.
snap their necks. If you really sit and think about like how terrifying that massive of a cat,
Yeah.
600 pounds.
Yeah, it's huge.
And can you
Dude,
imagine the
so
cat urine?
big.
Yeah.
How stinky
that cat would be
urine
on
is?
Woo Plus.
100%.
It may be there. I'll check.
Well, it's been a great week.
An amazing week.
So
It's
good.
been an amazing week. Lots of
It'd probably fill up a shoe, right? If
Oh,
If
yeah.
a 600 pound
If a big
cat
cat-
peed in your shoe?
Oh, 100%.
Joe Exotic shoes are just
That's a question I'll ask Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write Joe and let us know next week what he says.
Can a cat urine fill up my shoes?
100%.
Okay.
So if you're listening, you're probably just using your ears to hear this episode.
okay.
If you're using your eyes,
Yes.
that
hello.
means you have subscribed to our Patreon account.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
We are live streaming right now, and that you can go over to patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
We'll buy Wayne some pants for the next one.
Yeah,
I am sitting here.
Maybe we
in
can put a
some
blur.
nice white skivvies, showing the boys how bright my thighs are.
Yes.
And my knee
Too
bows.
bright.
These are strong knee bows.
Those are
They
strong
are.
Nevos. The
Muscular
strongest
Nevos.
of strong.
But we love you guys. It's been a fantastic week. Come hang out with us on social media, FMOFM Podcast. We love you guys,
Definitely.
and we'll see you next time.
Meow.